Hello everyone, I am Mengxia, currently a postdoc from CMU. In this video, I present our work Persua, a visual interactive system to enhance the persuasiveness of arguments in online discussion. It is very common that people hold different stances on a topic and try to persuade others to change their opinions during social interactions online. We can see a massive scale of interpersonal persuasion on various social media platforms over topics ranging from political campaigns, business pitches, to daily issues. There emerge dedicated online forums such as Change My View and Debate for people to communicate and induce others to believe their opinions through written words. For example, at this moment, the Change My View forum has 1.9 million members and 1,800 people online. Enhancing people's ability to write persuasive arguments could not only practice their critical thinking and reasoning, but also contribute to the effectiveness and civility in online communication. However, it is still an open question as to the best way to help people enhance their persuasiveness of arguments in online discussion. Many works target verbal, face-to-face communication contexts, and some works on persuasive writing focus on analysis about persuasive arguments in charity-related scenarios. They are not practical enough to guide people to improve their interpersonal persuasion on casual topics in online forums. Recently, an increasing number of methods and tools have been proposed to help people refine written arguments with natural language processing techniques. For example, AL, an adaptive learning support system for argumentation skills. These existing tools focus mainly on analyzing structure of arguments, for example, the relationship of claims and premises, while lacking guidance on persuasive strategies, for example, logistic reasoning, emotional affection, that can be applied to written arguments. For example, when analyzing the informal requests of 99 university students, emotional appeal were used the most and were more successful than rational appeal or credibility appeal. So we want to investigate how to provide adaptive suggestions for persuasive strategies on arguments writing. We conducted a needs finding survey with 123 online forum users to understand their demands and challenges on improving arguments persuasiveness. And we also conducted a semi-structured interviews with 5 domain experts as a triangulation, and they have rich experience in debate competitions and knowledge on persuasive theories for suggestions that can address users' needs. Through the survey and interview, we derived the following design goals. And the first one is provide examples of high-quality persuasive arguments fitting to the topic and support filtering by persuasive strategies. And second one is that display the composition of different persuasive strategies in the user's input and compare it with other well-accepted persuasive arguments. The third one is that show the logic structure of the arguments and also offer a web-based interface and visual augmented feedback for the arguments writing. We discussed the existing persuasive theories with experts, and we derive our own taxonomy of argument components. For text, it's either argument or non-argument, and also if it is argument, it can be claim or promise. And within the promise, we have 4 different persuasive strategies: logos, pathos, ethos, and evidence. The logos represent a persuasive strategy that uses facts, logic, or reasoning to persuade people, such as presenting statistic results. And for pathos, it is a persuasive strategy that persuades people by arousing their emotions, such as telling a personal story. Ethos represent a persuasive strategy that builds the speaker's credibility by sharing some professional experience or using credible sources for persuasion. And evidence is a persuasive strategy that describes a concrete example. Notice that evidence refers to the practical experience that has happened, which is not required in logos, pathos, or ethos. For training the model that can classify different strategies and argument structure, we collected the source data from Change My View, a popular online discussion forum of Reddit. We choose the category human life for data labeling and processing, since it reduces the need for professional background knowledge. In total, we derived 164 discussion threads across 8 topics. To provide detailed and concrete examples for persuasive strategy, we label the posts at the sentence level. And for each sentence, we first mark it as a claim or premise. And if it is a premise, we further label its persuasive strategy as ethos, logos, pathos, or evidence. For mining the persuasive strategies, we conduct the following 3 steps. We first classify whether it is an argument or not. Use a multi-class classification method. And later, we detect the argument relationship. We detect the support or non-support relationship between a premise and a claim, which is a binary classification task. And then we use machine learning methods to do the premise classification, and it is a multi-label classification to output the types of premises. Based on the design requirements and the derived taxonomy, we develop the system Persua. Our system contains 4 coordinated views: input view, node view, example view, and compare view. The input view accepts the user's input and summarizes applied persuasive strategies. And the node view demonstrates the structure of the user's arguments. Example view provides examples of persuasive arguments fitting to the topic and supports filtering by persuasive strategies. Compare view shows the differences in arguments composition compared with other successful arguments. For example, here, the user noticed 2 long red bars on the left, labeled with evidence and logos, which means that comparing with average persuasive strategy components, the user's arguments lacked evidence and logos. And the user can refer to the example view and refine his arguments. And the user here, we can see, uploads another version of the arguments. And here is the feedback from the system. We can see that the user finds the logos ratio increases from 31 to minus 31 to minus 4, and the evidence becomes positive. And finally, the user can get satisfied with the writing. To evaluate our system, we conduct a between-subject study and we construct a baseline. The baseline shows the structure of the arguments, which is similar to the main feature of AL, the work proposed before. We recruited 36 participants, 18 for the baseline group and 18 for the Persua group. We asked them to conduct 2 tasks. The first one is write a paragraph about the topic abortion. And the second one is refine a paragraph about the topic of parenthood. Here are the results. In terms of the effectiveness, the task performance shows that Persua is more helpful for users to improve the persuasiveness in their arguments more than the baseline. And according to the ratings result, Persua has a significantly higher score in the system informativeness than the baseline. And also we find that students in the Persua group modify and submit more times than the users in the baseline. In terms of the usability, in general, participants were significantly more willing to use Persua again than baseline, though they rated baseline significantly more easy to learn and use. In particular, participants utilize multiple views in Persua in different ways to improve their persuasiveness. And we find that their ratings on the usefulness in terms of different views shows participants thought compare view and example view are more valuable than node view. So based on the user study, we derived the following design considerations. So here are the conclusion of the work. Thank you for watching. For more details, please read our paper.